Hey everybody, this is Jared, and I want to talk about one of the more popular subjects that have come up this expansion, and a little bit even in Cataclysm, and that, of course, is looking for raid. Yes, looking for raid. Just saying it kind of makes me tired, and not because I don't like looking for raid, but because I'm kind of tired of all the posts about it. But I get it though. So basically, it's a polarizing topic. You either seem to love looking for raid or hate looking for raid. There's very little in between. You know, there's those that's their end game, and those that think that it should be destroyed and, you know, burnt up and just, you know, thrown into a ditch and then buried and etc. Me personally, I think it's just a necessary evil, guys. It's something that needs to be in the game. And the reason why I say that is because a player created problems and Blizzard created problems, and that's pretty much the truth. I mean, and by that I mean we wanted faction changes, we got it, right? We wanted realm changes, we got it. And what happened? We essentially killed realms, or killed sides on realms. And it didn't help that in Wrath there was new realms that opened up that people went to right away and then left. Or in the Burning Crusade, when Blood Elves were introduced, it was like a whole new world on some servers because so many people wanted to be Horde but wanted to be Elves because the Horde were the best and they did the best damage and they did the best in PvP and all that good stuff. So people wanted, of course, then to join the Horde. And what better way to do it than with an Elf, right? So, although I'm not saying like, hey, I'm blaming us for this because, you know, it's a two-way street. You know, Blizzard had their role in it too by allowing us to do it. By allowing us to basically destroy realms and make it, you know, unplayable for certain sides or both sides. You know, and therefore doing even the simplest things like a dungeon became a headache, became a chore because you couldn't find anyone to do it. So they're like, well, what are we going to do? Well, what they did, of course, was they made Looking for Dungeon, and that, of course, eliminated the I cannot find anyone to run Nomerigan or Dead Mines or whatever dungeon, you know, and now you could. And then, of course, it became, well, what about raids? You know, I can't find anyone to raid with, and that's when they introduced Looking for Raid for Dragon Soul, and, you know, ever since then, it's just been kind of like, well, okay, you know, that's great and all, but is that really the content that we want? Do we really want to do raiding as casuals? I consider myself kind of in between the casual and a hardcore player because I am really into doing achievements, but I don't necessarily really care for raiding as much anymore. I kind of stopped in Kata. Is that what we really want to do? I mean, personally, I don't really know if I want to do raids anymore. I mean, I'd rather there be something else to do. And there probably has never been more to do in the game, technically speaking, because you got Proving Grounds, you got Brawler's Guild, you got pet battles, you got challenge mode dungeons if you want to do it. They introduce scenarios. I mean, you know, they've introduced more things to do. So I don't want to say, oh, there's nothing to do in the game. You know, that's not what I'm trying to get at. But for the sense of accomplishment for gear, there's only really one thing to do, and that's, you know, raid. I mean, yeah, you can get some stuff, you know, by doing, you know, dungeons or scenarios by Valor gear or the crappy heroic scenario gear that you can get. That's, you know, good eye level at least. Well, maybe not good eye level now, but you know I'm getting at. Like, you can get stuff out of it, but it doesn't really feel the same as a raid in the sense of, you know, you're getting something good, you know, something that you really want. And I think that's kind of the problem. It's all about want. We want this, we want that. And end of the day, our wants, I think, have kind of hurt the game because we all want something, right? But do we need it? Do we need the best gear? Well, kind of. We do at this point, you know, in a way, because Blizzard has made the game focused on, you know, raiding. So, you know, given everyone the accessibility to raid, has created is, well, you got to raid. That's it. Whether you're looking for raid flex, normal, or heroic, you have to raid to really see Blizzard's fruit of their labor, which is their in-game content primarily, which is raiding. And I think that's where Blizzard dropped the ball. They focus so much on the raiding aspect. They focus so much on us doing the raiding that they kind of forgot about other things like heroic dungeons. And they always say, well, do you want 10 bosses in a raid, or do you want 4 and then get new heroics? Because apparently we can't have both. We can't have big raids and heroics added. Which, hey, I'm not going to pretend to know how much time it takes to do any of this stuff. I'm not going to say, well, geez, they could whip out a heroic dungeon in, a day or two. Obviously I don't believe that. No one really should. But it does seem a little unfair to both raiders and non-raiders that we're being joined together kind of like reluctantly, if not at all wanting to be joined in the same group together, and saying that you have to get along because we're going to make content for both of you. We're going to make content for the casuals and looking for raid, and raiders, you can do either your normal raiding, your heroic raiding, or even flex. And maybe looking for raiders will do flex as well, but it's basically you're doing one type of thing, and that's raiding. It's not, casuals, you can go into heroic dungeons or have have more quests to do, or more class related things to do, like class quests again. They're not saying that, they're saying no, just do raiding. And I don't want to call Blizzard lazy, because I don't think they're lazy overall as a company. And obviously with 7+ million people, they're not lazy. They're doing a lot of things. It's just, is it really the best thing to do to have everyone do raiding? I mean, could there not be a something else for the non-raiding type to do? And don't say daily quests only, because even though I love daily quests, I'm a weird like that. A lot of people hated it. I mean, remember beginning of this expansion, the outcry of daily quests and how they're gated, rewards, and Valor was added as well, so you had to do Valor and have the rep. And I don't want to even think about trying to tell people just do dailies, because that's a very sore subject. But I don't know. We gotta find something else to do. We gotta stop lumping everyone into the same thing. And although it probably is good for Blizzard because they're justified in making this rating content, because that's one of the things that got knocked in for by fans was why did only 2 or 3% of people play or get to experience Sunwell back on Burning Crusade? Why that's not fair. And it isn't really fair. I mean, they put so much effort into it. It's not fair to us. It's not fair to them, Blizzard, because they spent a lot of time making it, and only a few percentage of people saw it at level. And unless they can make something equally as good for the PvEers that don't raid, that are casual, it looks bad no matter how you look at it. Whether you're elitist or casual, you got to understand it looks bad if you only cater to one or the other. So all I can say is this: it's a self-inflicted problem by both sides. For convenience sake, looking for raid was created, looking for dungeon as well. I hope that Blizzard can find something else for us to do. I hope that maybe they can find, more class-related things to do. I was hoping for a class-specific proving grounds, for example. Maybe they can find more time to do class quests. I don't know. If anything they do, if nothing else, I just hope they find a way to make it so that raiders can just be raiders and everyone else can be what they are, but not having to go together and collide and then cause problems. And you know what? That's probably an impossible task, sadly. But maybe one day it'll happen. Maybe they'll find something in the next expansion. But anyway, I'm excited because today's BlizzCon. So I got the virtual pass. I'm going to watch it, and hopefully we hear some good news. Maybe we'll hear more about this kind of thing. But all right, take it easy.